Welcome to yet another edition of The Voices in Annie's Head. Hello, super friends! So I don't know when this turned into a series about Annie's advice for artists, but here you go. So last week I announced that I have finally finished the first draft of my new book, and I'm thankfully on to the next stage in the process. Writing, like most art forms, is extraordinarily fun and entertaining to do, but it's also a ton of hard work, and the first draft is usually the hardest part of the process. But the more hard work you put into it, the better it gets. You know this if you've ever binge watched a bunch of cooking shows on TV and then tried to make lunch, like this. For my dish, I've prepared a brioche bun with a pureed nut spread and a grape reduction relish, finished off with a basil leaf garnish for your enjoyment. Yes, quite. Especially during the first draft, though, it is almost inevitable that at some point you're going to hit a wall. It's practically unavoidable, but it's just part of the process. Creating something new out of nothing is kind of like putting together a puzzle, except that you don't have the guiding picture, you have no idea what it's supposed to look like, half the pieces are upside down, and you actually have some bits from other puzzles mixed in there too. Ah! Why? It's a struggle for everyone, and a lot of people know it as writer's block, but since it can encounter any artist, I like to call it artist's block. There's plenty of advice out there for people who are struggling to get through their artist block in whatever medium you're in. And a lot of it really does work. But if you're not careful, if you work too hard on your artist block, you can end up getting frustrated, angry, depressed, or even burnt out. And that's never a place you want to be in. Before I get to that burnout phase, after I've tried a bunch of other options to work around my block, I like to take a little bit of a different approach. Procrastination. Hang on a minute. You're telling me that your solution for when something isn't working is to stop working? Yes. And especially if you've got a super Annie up in your head like I do, this can seem a little counterintuitive. But if you've tried a bunch of other things, why not give this a shot too? Get out of your workspace, cool your jets, and try something different. But that makes no sense! You can't solve a problem if you're not working on it. When you're in the midst of an artist block, your brain is working really hard on that one tiny problem that's going to solve everything that's wrong with your draft. It's attacking it with everything that it's got, but that block is just not moving. What you need to do is let those specific neurons that are firing take a little bit of a break and start working on some new pathways to figure out a solution to your problem. And chances are, if you've been working on your artist block for any amount of time, you're probably tired. Your imagination machine might need a little bit of a break to rest and recharge so that it can get going again. Rest? You don't need rest. You're just being lazy. And Super Annie is not lazy. Look, your imagination machine isn't a muscle, but it can be compared to one. If you pull a hammy or something, your trainer isn't going to tell you to keep working on it or to run faster. They're going to tell you to rest, hydrate, and maybe stretch it out gently a little bit, but mostly give it a break so that it can heal instead of getting worse. It can be the same way with an artist's block. I guess you have a point. We can try it, but I'm not going to like it. Now, this procrastination medication is not your regular everyday slacking off. If you're gonna procrastinate like you mean it. What has worked best for me in the past is to just get so involved in something entirely different than what you're working on. You need to get your mind entirely off your problem and onto something else. For a quick fix, exercising can help, especially weights. Something that requires a little bit of focus, but a lot of sweat. Getting your heart pumping and your body moving and getting some oxygen circulated up to your brain are great ways to boost your creative energy. I've had plenty of creative epiphanies while I'm on the treadmill at the gym. Oh my gosh, why didn't I see it before? They have to use the pickaxe of power to defeat the gremlin of doom. Oh, okay, I gotta go. For more serious problems, I usually try and get into a different project that's an entirely different medium and work on that for a while. Something fun and light and far from serious, so that it can lift your spirits as well as your stress. Sometimes getting out into nature is the best solution. Whatever it is, do something different, creative, and engaging that will allow you to entirely forget your problem before you go back in and try working on it again. And try to get the voices in your head on board with it too. That really helps. That's it. Meditate like you mean it. Breathe in, breathe out, deep breaths. Yes, awesome. You could give Gandhi a run for his money. Or if you can, just get rid of the voices entirely. Keep it up. You've got this. Relax, relax, relax. Oh. Eventually, you will go back to your problem. But don't go back to it until you've had a complete mental break. That's why I have to take my hiatus between the first and second drafts of writing. Then when you come back to whatever's causing your artist's block, you can attack it from an entirely different perspective. And chances are you'll be more likely to find that solution that's been eluding you. I hope this helps. Keep being awesome out there, super friends, and I'll see you again next week.